To answer one of the most common questions I get from fans, no, the Mazdarati never came back after being stolen. So we're gonna right that wrong with a new Mazda and a Hot Rod Garage project car in the Super Street Garage.
I know, this is perfect, right?
This is gonna be so good, but I think we need to start with sort of the story. There's a lot of background here. Season 4, I surprised you by buying a 1974 Mazda rotary pickup truck.
This thing's awesome. This is the greatest truck ever, isn't it?
And I'll never forget the seller who told us he got thrown out of the drag strip because it wheelied and ran tens. Neither of which it ever did, even when we had it.
Exactly, and the reason he thought that that might be true is that that truck had an Oldsmobile 455 on an early Toronado transaxle in the bed. And so we drove the thing around. Remember, it overheated absolutely brutally?
Yeah, we made our own ducts for the roof to duct down to the radiator, which totally worked.
It did.
It stopped overheating.
Yeah.
We auto-crossed it.
Come on, baby.
We drove it to the drag strip at Chandler, Arizona. We put a 180 shot of nitrous in it. Even with the 180 shot, it wouldn't go tens. It went 1120.
Yeah.
At kind of a big mile an hour. I think it ran like 120 something.
Yeah, and it leaked out of every orifice on that pass. The transaxle, the engine, everything. All over the drag strip. And then it got stolen.
Actually, our crew guys had it on a trailer in Blythe, California, and security cam footage shows the thing getting stolen off the trailer, and it never came home.
No.
Years later, I bought a 39 Ford two-door sedan, and we road tripped the thing through New Orleans, which was a lot of fun, and ended up in Texas, where we found this, the replacement Mazdarati. It is another, I think 74, maybe it's an earlier one, I'm not sure. There's something about the cab size difference in the different model years of these things.
The last year of it had a longer cab.
Right.
Which I would have loved to have had because I never fit in the Mazdarati very well.
But we sat around and bench raced in that episode about what kind of engine we wanted to put in the thing. And then the answer came actually from a leftover project car from the other MotorTrend show called Hot Rod Garage. Now, this vehicle's actually kind of genius. It's a 2006 Impala SS, and those things are factory with a 5.3-liter V8 that is sort of based on an LS motor. They've got some differences, like, you know, there's no starter motor on it, the bell housing bolt pattern is different, stuff like that.
It's mounted sideways in the front of the car.
All of that.
It's very weird.
But what it means is that you can get another one of those complete engine and transaxle packages and throw it in the trunk, which is what Tony and Lucky did on a couple of episodes of Hot Rod Garage. And the whole goal was to make the thing run in the 9s. But like the Mazdarati not running in the 10s, they never got it into the 9s. It went 10-16, and it was so sketchy that not even Tony Angelo would drive it down the track again.
The build is amazing. I'm thrilled about it.
It's clever.
He was not thrilled about driving it down a drag strip, and I totally understand. So why not do our own version of that and get equally scared?
The reason we're able to part out the Hot Rod Garage car, which honestly kind of hurts us, is that I heard that MotorTrend was going to scrap it. And we're like, we can't let that happen. So we figure that the Impala is the perfect donor to put an LS engine on a transaxle in the bed of this Mazdarati, just like the original. I think the first thing that we're gonna do is get the Impala and actually hack the engine and transaxle out of the back of it.
I can't cut that car. I'd feel bad.
We can make Lucky watch. I'm gonna cut the roof off. It'll help. Ready?
Really?
Yep. Both of us feel really bad about taking apart our buddy's project car, but its destiny is sealed.
It's going to the junkyard. There we go.
Now you can get a better look at what they've done here. I think the engine that's in the front is from a GXP. This one's actually from another Impala. This is the original engine those guys installed. The front one's been blown up, I think, 3 times. So, hacking. That
Nice.
usually works.
There we go. There we go. I won't say it looks better, but it's easier to work on.
I bet it's faster. I don't think I mentioned to you that both of these engines are turbocharged. See the intercoolers? It made 940 or 980 horsepower on a four-wheel dyno, which means each engine is making less than 500 horsepower under boost, and they run on E85. They hopped them up a little bit. You can see it's got a Holley Sniper EFI intake manifold on it. Factory 90 millimeter throttle body, which is bigger than what the LS4 stock engine would have had.
So you're telling me that you could have made the same power with heads and a cam on this motor as you did with a turbo?
Yes. The Mazdarati could aim to be quicker with one motor than the Twin Impala was with two.
Ouch. I didn't say that.
That would mean it would run 9s, because this ran 1016.
The great thing about this is if it blows up, it's not our fault.
Right.
This was used when we got it.
Yeah, we can explain that.
Could already be broken,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, but you know what? Hot Rod Garage never blows up LS engines, so. All right, ready?
Yep.
Slaughtering all this actually gave us crystal clear vision on what to do. We decided that we were gonna cut this thing right ahead of this main hoop of the roll bar and cut through the rocker panels and then pull the bed off the Mazda and figure out how to attach this whole thing to the back of the truck. And we may change our minds later, but I think we're like trying to cut the least to begin with and save the most.
I love this plan.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Here comes the last one.
You just bisected an Impala, bro.
Last time we tried to break a car in half, we used a lift, and it was really violent and unsafe.
I hear stuff.
I hear creaking. This is much better.
Oh, starting to go now. Oh, wait. The air inlet tube is holding it together. Okay, that's loose.
Oh, those tubes.
Is that a brake line or a fuel line?
Brake.
Hey, look at it roll. It's a lot easier to take them apart.
What is that, $1,000 worth of gauges in that thing? We should take them out.
A couple grand worth of EFI sitting there, too.
No, we'll save all that.
This is great because, like, the ECU plugs in. It's a few wires. The fuel system's still sitting there.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
HRG did all the work for us.
Thanks, HRG.
All right, tomorrow, I think we get this garbage out of the way. We'll strip all the good parts off of it so it doesn't go to waste. And then we got the Mazda on the lift where we will pick the bed up and figure out how to take this and slam it together.
Yeah, clearly, we're not going to waste anything.
Nah, we're going to be done early. Yeah, you want to like go to the beach on Wednesday or something?
I was going to say, let's get a beer, but
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, that's a good idea. Mental warming led to a lot of brainstorming last night. See what I did?
Poet.
I guess we figured out how we want to do this. We're going to put it up in the air and pull the bed off and then think about it from there. A lot of measuring, then a lot of butchery. This truck's actually pretty rare. When did they make them? 72 to 74? Something like that.
3 to 5.
3 to 5, that sounds right. Somewhere in that neighborhood. But it's a Mazda pickup that came with a rotary engine, and not all of them were that way. And the body style is actually different with the rotary. It's got the little fender flares.
Yeah, Ford Courier guys are bummed because they don't have the flared bedside. I don't think they have the battery box either.
This one didn't have an engine in it when we got it. Hit it just a little so I can, there, it's out. Great.
I think this is the last one.
Yeah. We think all the fasteners are off the bed, so we're gonna put it down on the ground and list some manpower. We're gonna have producer Taylor and apprentice Mason come in. Okay, great. All right. And down.
Wow, this is crusty. Now the fun part. We have the bed off, obviously, and we're going to roll the back half of the Twin Impala next to our not really rotary powered truck anymore and eyeball, how do we make this fit that?
We rolled this over just to sort of eyeball everything. I've got it lined up on the center line of the axle. It looks like it fits perfectly. We're gonna measure a bunch. Our plan is gonna be to just weld that right to here after we cut this frame off. And obviously it's gonna need a lot of triangulation to work.
This is basically outside of the tube. The outside of the tube is 56.
Yeah.
And outside of this frame is like 44.
Yeah. The roll bar just barely fits in the bed, right?
Yeah, it's just inside of the bed rail by like 3/4 of an inch.
Okay. How are we gonna weld it all in and triangulate it and make it stay there? We just spent a very depressing hour of conversation and convoluting and convoluting and conversating. And we're not gonna be able to attach the back half of the Twin Impala to the back half of the Mazdarati. How come?
Gravity.
There's no way to attach it and triangulate it and make this thing actually good. So what we're gonna end up doing is parting that whole thing out and installing the engine and transaxle on the factory cradle in this frame, which means we're gonna have to redo everything. We can reuse everything, but we will be remounting everything.
We really thought we were just gonna be able to roll this up to the back of the truck, cut, weld, let's do burnouts.
It looked promising, but instead, I think we're about to embark on the biggest fabrication project you've ever seen on Roadkill. I'm standing here cutting out everything that doesn't need to be here. So I'm gonna remove this cross member, I'm gonna leave that one so that the frame hangs together a little bit. These brackets are gonna be in our way. Obviously the gas tank's gotta go out. I'm doing the dirty work. He's doing the unbolting organizational work. Cool. That's off.
Okay.
All this good fab work gone.
It is a nice piece.
And we have liberated the parts that we actually need. This is an LS4, it's a 5.3 aluminum head engine, and those guys left the stock cam in it, sniper intake, 90mm throttle body, headers and stuff. The transmission is actually transaxle and brand new gear star unit, but now we have to figure out how to get all of this under the Mazda.
We're revolutionaries.
Beat it.
Look at that.
Bye-bye.
Now all I gotta do is slide that under this. Car will build itself.
Yeah, see, and now that it has no camber control, they're just gonna flop everywhere.
All right.
Ready?
Yes, let's go. It's working. Oh, this is exciting.
How's that?
Let's lower it down.
It's probably fine where it is. Just tack it. We freed the whole engine and transaxle and factory Impala cradle out of the Twin Impala roll cage. And now we've got it actually underneath the Mazda, and you know, it's that moment where you have hope because it looks kind of cool.
Well, this is our lose the shop moment. Here's where we're at. The truck isn't at ride height. In fact, it's pretty far above where ride height should be. Although the tires are touching the ground, there's no engine, there's no weight in the front end of this. Ideally, this truck should sit probably another 2 inches lower.
We're at a you can't get there from here moment. The front mount for the cradle needs to move up so much that we basically have to cut the entire frame off, which puts us right back to the point that we were at when we were considering put the entire back half of the Twin Impala up against the back of the truck, which we can't do because we can't build a roll cage and triangulate the suspension because of a bunch of rust and the frame's too narrow. You can't get in and out of the cab. So for all of those reasons, this might not happen.
Oh, no, I just fixed it.
Hey, Mike just fixed it.
Let's just cut the mounts off and make new ones.
And on the aluminum cradle,
Yeah, these don't have to be where they're at.
now we're talking about modifying the aluminum cradle. Stay tuned.
Okay, we are close. We can now put our bolts in to guide us. Okay, now you can jack it up. There you go, keep going. Oh yeah, plenty of all thread. Okay, we're there. We can do nuts and washers on this side.
We're attaching this with all thread right now, just sort of temporarily. And we've got grade 8 bolts on order.
Yeah, now we can go down and then figure out where we want to make the rear cross member.
Pallet jack gone for the last time. Great. All right, I'm gonna go cut up the twin Impala cage and bring it in here and see if it's actually gonna work. If it does, it's gonna save us a ton of time.
Yeah.
Sawzall. This is the structure out of the back of the twin Impala. Here's my thought process. If we can take advantage of the fabrication that they've already done, then it establishes the pickup points here for that engine cradle, and also, maybe more importantly, where the struts attach. Now, if they had the struts attached in the wrong place and that's why they had really bad handling problems, then we will also have really bad handling problems. But don't tell Finnegan that right now. Ready?
Dude, if this works, this is gonna be so cool.
It's gonna save a lot of time. Oh, dude. It's gonna work. We have to shorten this bar, which we can then weld to this angle right there, and then it's gonna attach.
Well, the only problem with that is this is real close to the angle it needs to be at.
Well, even if this down bar doesn't work, all of that works.
Yeah, this gives us whatever, crazy alignment they had the back of their car.
Right.
Which either works or doesn't.
So I say we slowly trim this until that matches.
I'm all about doing things slowly.
What we're gonna attempt to do is land these original bars on the top of our frame and weld it up. In the back right now, we've got a little bit of angle going on to the mount, so we need to set that down, and that'll happen if this bar moves down. So I'm gonna try and trim it right here on both sides. Nailed it.
Nice.
Wow. I got a huge gap on this side.
The whole cradle can roll forward.
Okay, so just the inside of this needs to be trimmed. We did it. This is a huge time save. We made this back of the twin Impala work, so Mike's gonna zap it on, and then we can bolt struts on.
We can bolt struts in now. I got a nut on mine, we just gotta tighten it, and we need a nut in your donut on yours.
Yeah. More. And
Down slow.
down slow. Yep. Okay.
The weight of the vehicle is now on the struts if you keep going.
Yep.
Woo!
That's on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna ride good, dude.
Great. We're not necessarily proud, but we're done.
When you say it out loud, I mean, you're right, yeah.
We'll make it way better next time. Ready to go do burnouts?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do burnouts.
No, we're gonna check the brakes first.
Oh yeah, let's do that. All right, just roll a little. Oh, that works.
Oh, we got brakes.
Yeah, that's Finnegan style right there. Yep.
Oh,
Ooh, spunky.
let's see if it steers. Oh, it steers.
It's not skidding around. All right, I'm gonna chalk the front wheels and we'll try a burnout. So far, the brake works, steering works, and it seems really peppy in just the tiny bit that we hit it. It's gonna push it.
I think it just ran it over.
Are you willing to do just to mash it and go?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if
let's
it'll
do
do
that.
anything,
Wheel chocks didn't work. We're just gonna mash it. I can't tell what happened there. It didn't squat.
but yeah, it hooks really well.
Right.
All right. Try it again. hooked. It doesn't want to do a burnout.
If it would run right, it would be fast. This thing seems to just want a boogie. We're matting it and it's barely hazing the tires. It's mostly just accelerating. It makes no power. While we feel vindicated that it runs and drives and hooks up and is ready for the next episode where we turbo it and put a bed and everything, we still need a burnout.
We need a burnout.
I've got water on the rear end and I'm gonna throw a wheel block in here. I've already got one on the other side. We're gonna see if we can improve the tire smoke situation. I think you're good.
Okay.
Well, that's a little tire smoke. Still a lot of traction. This thing's gonna run 10s no problem.
It's got way too much traction.
It does, this thing hooks. Now we got desperation going on. We have the Mazdarati 2.0, we have a yank strap, we have camera Alex's Jeep XJ. Now it should smoke the tires.
Let's try this again.
Yeah, we got tire smoke, baby.
That might bring the fire department.